Okay, we're good.
Okay, so this is Penny Jakes. I will open our meeting at 7 o'clock on May 14th, 2020 in the era of COVID-19. Can the other people present just state their names?
Robin Harrington.
Russell Missoula.
And Liam Cregan.
And Linda Ava
Present.
Scott, land use clerk.
And I believe Linda needs to make a statement before we get rolling.
Thank you, Penny. Following the governor's restrictions on public meetings, this meeting of the Conservation Commission is being held virtually using zoom.com for remote participation only. The public may access it following the instructions in this meeting's agenda posted on the town website.
Thank you. So shall we consider the meeting, the minutes from our meeting on April 23rd? Has everyone read them? I know, Russ, you weren't there.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a chance to look at them, and they felt accurate and true to me. And also, kudos to Linda for getting all that down. 'Cause there's a
No
lot.
kidding.
I second everything he just said. I read through them and I was like, oh my God, she got all of this stuff. So yeah, I agree.
So then I make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented with one spelling typo that I found.
Which I fixed.
Thank you.
I didn't catch that.
Can someone second, please?
I second.
And can we take a vote? All in favor say aye. State your name, please.
Robin Harrington, aye.
Liam Cregan, aye.
Penny Jakes, aye.
Russ, you have to abstain.
I'm abstaining. Russell Missoula.
Okay. And so may I just, Linda, before we plunge into new items, may I just make a statement? So after the last meeting, I don't know if others of you on the commission are part of Next Door Shutesbury or eCricket, but there was a lot of chatter about what's going on with all of this, with the ANRADs. And Linda and I worked to draft a statement that I put on Nextdoor and Linda put on eCricket that basically, it was very short. It said, we voted at our April 9th meeting that we won't hold the hearings for the ANRADs in a virtual sense. And it said that at this point, the work by our consultant is still continuing, and that for the most up-to-date information, go to our website. And if you do go to our website, there's a fairly lengthy statement now explaining about what's going on with the ANRADs, and it has the information about how they were continued until tonight. And so this will be, that part of it will be updated again after tonight's meeting. And since then, we haven't gotten any more, well, the chatter has slowed down. And I think that was somewhat reassuring to people. So I felt like that was a good thing to do, and you all can look and see what we put on the website if you're so inclined. So let's move on to new items and updates. Southbrook Conservation Area intern update. And I believe I was supposed to do something in the interim and I failed to do that. So I don't believe there is an update. Correct?
No, because it was really that you would follow up with Kayla to answer the questions that she had,
Right.
that none of the rest of us could answer.
Right, and I apologize. That just didn't rise to the top of my things to do. So we'll continue that issue. Any news on the lake lowering MOU?
No. So I will, if you'd like, I will email Mark Rivers and check with him.
That would be great. And just as an aside on that topic, I know some of you may be aware that when I worked at UMass, one of the grad students I worked with, Jason Carmignani, who was in the, Liam, what is the name of your department now? It's changed so many times.
Environmental conservation.
Right.
Now?
Thank you. So he was an OEB student, but his work was with the faculty in the eco department. And he did a project on the effects of winter drawdowns on specifically mussels, but many things within lakes. And he sent me a copy of one of his recent papers, which I forwarded to Mark Rivers. And Mark was quite excited about that. So it was an interesting paper. I should forward it to all of you.
You actually
did
did,
I?
I believe. Yes.
Did I do that? Oh, good for
Yes.
me.
Yeah.
Well, yay. Okay. Shutesbury Highway Department annual project list. Any movement on that?
No. So another follow-up reminder to Tim. Yeah.
Okay. Sumner Mountain CR monitoring visit date change.
Yes. Liam, do you want to say about that?
Yeah, I've been chatting with both Charlies, and I think right now we're looking at May 19th, which is sometime next week, I believe. I
Okay.
think the day after the state of emergency will be lifted if it's not extended. One of the Charlies, I don't recall either of their last names right now, but lives with somebody who's immunocompromised, so he's pretty concerned about unnecessary social interaction. So I think we're going to check in next week and kind of go from there.
Okay.
Yes. So that's Chuck Damari, the landowner, and Charlie Eisman, the
monitor.
actual monitor. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for clearing that up because I actually didn't know who was who.
Yeah. That must make it interesting.
Not having met them, right.
Right.
Okay. 99 Sand Hill Road inquiry.
Okay, yeah, so I forwarded to all of you the email from Frederick Steinway. His email was, let's see, I'm just at the list here. Well, 427, it was dated on 427. So this is the inquiry that had to do with potential vernal pools and a roadside ditch and such.
And I don't know if the rest of you read that, but I felt like I couldn't really understand what the situation he was describing was, or exactly what he was asking of us. I don't know if any of you had a better sense of things.
I don't have a better sense of things, but I had read the original and I saw your response and I was like, I kind of felt the same way, like without going and seeing what he's talking about. Like I didn't even know like the context.
Right, yeah. Liam, could you make any sense out of it?
I like both of you. I haven't seen the site, so it's hard for me to really speak on it. But it seems like he has two trains of thought, one of which is concern about spotted salamander habitat, so I guess vernal pool habitat being affected by this stagnant pool that's like a drainage ditch along the side of the road. And then the other concern that I saw was mosquito control and the potential for this wetland to, harbor Tripoli carrying mosquitoes. So I'm not sure if he was asking about whether a wetland was jurisdictional for, I don't know if it really pertained to us necessarily.
Right.
Yeah, well,
Right.
I mean, did you get back in touch with him, Linda?
Excuse me. I did. As I always do, I responded to him to acknowledge receipt of his email and to say that I would be forwarding it to the commission.
Right.
I didn't know if to refer him to the highway department for concern about the drainage ditch and, that encourage him to look at vernal pool certification information.
Okay, well, I mean, I suppose he could request that we do a site visit to this location. I think we all might have a better grasp of what the question is if we could see where he's talking about. And I'm going to excuse myself for 1 minute. I just found a tick crawling on my face.
Ah,
I'm gonna put it in a little container. I'll be right back.
Okay.
holy mackerel. I was doing gardening today, and when I came in to take off my junk gardening clothes, there was a tick on the t-shirt after I took it off. I saw it, ran downstairs, made my husband do a tick check, and I was clean. And we confirmed that it was a dog tick. But oh man, that's a year, isn't it?
Okay, I'm back. It's in a container. So, do you think we need to do anything more with this at this point, Linda?
I don't really know, and I'm not really actually familiar with that exact area either. So I don't really know.
Yeah.
Without your possibly, taking a look, or again, I could write back and ask him to talk to Tim about the drainage ditch. Maybe there's something that could be done for it to flow more.
I guess, yeah, I guess I'm in my mind, the back of my mind, I'm wondering if this is a vernal pool, do we want
Right.
Tim down there
Right.
altering what's going on without us having a look at it?
Right.
So if it were a different time, I would suggest that we go see this as part of our site visits, but I'm feeling like I want to keep those to a minimum.
Right.
So I might be inclined just to let it go for now. And if he inquires again,
Okay.
perhaps we'll be in a better place to go investigate.
What road did you say that's on?
It's on Sand Hill.
Yeah, in the vicinity of 99 Sand Hill.
In the the habitat with the spotted salamander eggs in it is not a certified vernal pool at this moment. I would
Yeah.
assume not.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a good point to maybe have a little bit of trepidation about having the ditch altered. Although, like he's saying in this email, he's kind of saying that they are two ecosystems, and maybe one would do better. You know, the potential vernal pool would do better if this water was flowing, but
Yeah, but well, I wonder though, because you don't want flowing water in a vernal pool, so it seems almost counterintuitive in that regard.
could be a
Well,
thing to put off until the salamanders hatch and go on their merry way.
right. Does anyone, Liam, do you live down that way?
Yeah, I mean, so I actually moved to Hadley a month ago.
Oh, you
'Cause
did?
Yeah, because I was having, my landlord moved back full time, and we were having some issues because of COVID. So I ended up moving to Hadley. So I was close to Sand Hill Road,
I see.
but I'm no
Okay.
longer close.
Are you
But I
willing?
mean, maybe would be curious about checking it out.
Well, I was just thinking if someone was nearby, it might be worth just driving by at some point. I mean, I would be willing to do that at some point just to try and figure out what this is.
If the CR monitoring visit happens, I could stop by afterwards.
That would be great if you would just take a peek and see if you can figure out what the situation really is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll let you all know. You know, if the visit happens, I'll definitely check it out though.
Okay.
So next on our list is DEP guidelines and frequently asked questions updates and MACC guidance. And I guess, Linda, you're on for this.
Well, sure. So I know that I forwarded to all of you a lot of homework.
Right.
A lot of documents to look over, which included the frequently asked questions document from DEP, as well as another bit of guidance from DEP that was focused most specifically on submitting applications and submitting commissions, submitting orders of conditions, etc. And then earlier this week, you probably all received an email from MACC that had their guidance. So they basically summed up Chapter 53, Section 17, which we've been talking about for the last couple of meetings, and it now within the last week and a half, all of those pieces of guidance have come together because there has been so much effort on the part of attorneys at the state level, at the local land use attorneys and MACC, as well as DEP, to get all of this guidance clear. And so most of it, as you know, a lot of it focuses on what the commission, it gives the land use boards, and in this case, the Concom, the ability to toll or pause certain public hearings. And then we now also have clarity on the commission's ability to do some activities. And the clarity is that you can use a rationale for why you would be tolling certain public hearings, such as the ANRADs, where there's broad public interest and a lot of materials, but specifically broad public interest, where you might do a request for determination for like a septic system, or you might do a notice of intent where there is very localized abutter interest, whereas with the ANRADs, there's large areas with many abutters. So that point was clear because initially that was what we understood, and then there was a period of time when it was thought that maybe you either did all or none, but it has become clear now that you can establish a rationale, and as long as the rationale is consistent and recorded, then we can go ahead. And the other important point.
Well, can we talk about this for a little bit more before we move on to the other point? Because
well, just the other point I should have said first, Penny, is that's
yeah.
okay. The other important point is that the state of emergency is very different, is separate from the stay-at-home order and what the governor is proposing regarding a phase-in. That the state of emergency is in effect and is expected to be in effect for some time. So that even though on the 18th, there will be some new guidance about some non-essential businesses opening and all kinds of specifics about mandatory workplace protocols and all of that, the state of emergency still is in place, and the legislation, Chapter 53, Section 17, and the open meeting law relaxation to hold a virtual meeting, those remain in place until the state of emergency expires, and then there's timeframes subsequent to that for certain things.
And based on what you understand, it's likely that the state of emergency will continue beyond the May 18th date.
No question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I should say no question, like I'm not, but as far as
Charlie Baker.
right, as far as what the legal guidance is coming through, and that was very clear at the last MSMCP meeting, which was on the 6th, that is the guidance.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't just stop on the 18th. We don't just
everything goes back to the way it was.
Right,
Right.
right, because,
So,
go ahead.
well, what I was going to say is, if I remember correctly, at our April 9th meeting, we made a vote to basically suspend all public hearings and meetings until after the state of emergency. And I think we need to look at that language again as part of talking about this to see what we voted on last time.
Um,
And I can maybe find those minutes. Let's see, now I'm worried about ticks crawling on me. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if I can get them quickly.
Was this on 423, do you think?
4-9,
49?
4-9.
We made the vote on 4-9, but we might have gotten the minutes a little later.
Yeah,
Yeah, you would have looked at them on
around the 23rd, couple days
you
before.
would have looked, yeah.
Right. I found the 23rd minutes.
Oh, yeah, I found the 9th minutes.
Oh,
Actually.
great. Can you take a look and see what we said about that?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so after Scott read the updated response, Jakes confirms that the legislation gives the commission the ability to pause the open ANRAD. Scott, per information received during the 4-8 virtual MSMCP meeting. So let's see. At this time, it seems the commission may evaluate on a case-by-case basis because the legislation allows permit granting authorities to hold virtual public meetings and public hearings. FCC can decide to continue the ANRAD public hearings and public meetings for RDAs until after the state of emergency is terminated. I'm trying to find the vote though. So that sounds like similar to what we just heard from Linda.
But I'm fairly certain I remember actually taking a vote on something
You
there.
did, yeah, you did.
Okay. Let's see.
There.
It's
Pretty
a
sure.
dense paragraph.
Yes. Our minutes always are very dense.
Okay, commissioners agree to stay with 2 ANRAD public hearings per meeting. Harrington and Cregan state affirmative support for Jake's recommendation that the commission not hold any virtual public hearings that have broad public appeal. So
Okay.
that's the wording, I think.
Okay, so that's the wording. Okay, well, that makes me feel better because then we don't have to rescind anything. Okay.
Right.
You could, you could formalize it again with a roll call vote.
Just make a okay, let's see, I'll struggle to make a motion here. I will make a motion that we continue to our policy of not holding public hearings or meetings for issues of broad interest, but that we may have public meetings or hearings for topics with more narrow interest. Is that adequate, Linda?
Interest.
I know you said it better when we were speaking this afternoon. Anyone want to make a better stab at it?
You could say localized, possibly.
Are you writing it down?
Yes.
After you're done, can you read it back to us, please?
Yep. Okay. Jake's moves the.
Oh my gosh, another tick. Sorry.
Well,
Go ahead.
do you need a minute?
No, I got this one in my hand.
Jake's moves the commission continue the policy of not holding public meetings, public hearings for issues, I would say applications, but you
Yeah,
can,
okay, no, that's better.
with broad public interest, however, may hold public meetings / public hearings with localized abutter interest, with potential localized, with, I don't know, with, I don't know,
How about with limited public interest or,
yeah, and discrete projects. I mean, I don't know if that's,
how about minor projects? No, they're not, because you suggested perhaps we could consider a tear down
depending, I mean,
house. Yeah,
you know, it's, so what we should do here is, you made a motion, and if someone seconds it, and then you have discussion.
okay, so I made a motion. Does anyone have a suggestion as to how to make this?
Or
Better.
if someone seconds it, and then you discuss it, so that way you've got the motion, and then if you decide to revise the motion, you can do that,
Okay,
okay?
so shall we discuss the motion?
Somebody second, please.
Okay,
I second the motion.
Okay, thank you.
Robin Harrington seconds the motion.
Thank you. Okay, now, now see what you think about the language and what makes sense. You know, because the idea is that you want to have a rationale that for what you want to pause and continue till the public hearings can be held in an accessible way. And those that you might be able to manage in a virtual setting.
I'm wondering if there's maybe wording regarding like a specific number of abutters. Just, I don't know if that is arbitrary, but just kind of the idea that public hearings virtually are more difficult the more interest there is,
you got it.
because it's just hard to manage
Yeah.
interactions virtually when there's a lot of people in the room.
Right.
So yeah, I'm just wondering how to word that in a motion, but that I feel like it should kind of capture that.
Well, I wonder if saying broad interest captures that in a way that doesn't require us to put an exact number on the number of people interested.
Yeah.
I wonder if we say complex issues with broad interest.
Complex applications.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so,
My question is, if we use terms like broad interest or whatever, and a certain number of people say, we need to meet, this has broad interest, but we haven't defined it by a number or something, and we think, oh no, that's not broad interest, is it just gonna cause an argument?
You still have,
Well, one way to think about it is number of abutters to the project.
you still have to post it in the paper, right?
Always.
yes, yeah, paper, and the about 100-foot abutters receive a notice in the mail. So it seems like broad public interest seems, you know, from what I understand, like an acceptable rationale. And a more complex application, because that indicates the amount of material that needs to be read and understood by the commission and available to the public. So that seems to me more definitive than trying to narrow down the number of abutters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It is 7:30 too.
Oh, thanks,
Thank you.
Liam. So,
I can say that.
so this seems very complicated to me because we have two things to do at 7:30. So we'll do both of them very quickly. So the first 7:30 event is for the continued public hearing for the ANRAD at ZD-37, which is the Montague Carver Road project.
Mhm.
And after talking with Linda, we are recommending that rather than doing what TRC requested, which was to move this to our May 20, help me, Linda,
May 28th.
May 28th date, that we
Yeah.
move it to our 6/11th date, based on the fact that it doesn't seem likely that the world in which we're operating will be very different at our second meeting in May. And also from the fact that we have not gotten Emily's report or heard anything from her. And I have asked her that we have at least a week to have her report in hand before we have to talk about it. So do others feel that that's reasonable to wait till 6/11?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so then I'll move that we continue this continued public hearing until 6/11 at 7:30 p.m.
Liam Cregan seconds.
All in favor?
Robin Harrington, aye.
Russ Missoula, aye.
Okay, thank you.
Liam
Liam
Cregan, aye.
Do we have to say aye if we moved and seconded?
Yes, you do. Yes. Yeah,
Okay, Penny Jakes, aye.
thank you.
Okay, and then we are also at 7:30 continuing the public hearing for the ANRAD at ZW-6, which is the Pratt Corner Road West site. And I'm going to recommend that we move that to our June 25th meeting at 7:30 p.m. Does anyone have anything to say about that?
No.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Oh, right, so you need a motion and a
I thought
second?
okay.
Okay, your recommendation is a motion?
My recommendation is a motion.
Okay,
Can I have a second?
I second the motion, Robin Harrington.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye and state your name.
Robin Harrington, aye.
Liam Cregan, aye.
Russ, I think you
Did
said
you get-
something. Can you say that again, please?
Russ Missoula, aye.
And
Russ
Penny
Missoula,
Jakes.
aye.
Thank you. Penny Jakes, aye. Okay, back to our conversation.
oh, okay, right. Okay, so Penny made a motion, and it was seconded, and then there was discussion, and so I don't know if you want to restate the motion, Penny, and
Could I ask you to restate it since you wrote it down and I did not?
okay, so the initial motion was that the Shutesbury Conservation Commission continue the policy of not holding public hearings for applications with broad public interest. However, may hold public meetings / public hearings with localized interest. And I'm not sure about that, however, that phrase. I don't know, but this is all up to you, but maybe you would stay with the first part of not holding public hearings for complex projects with broad abutter interest.
I like that statement better.
So would one of you want to say that?
Okay, let's see. Liam, you're good with words. Can you restate it eloquently?
Okay.
In the form of
can-
I make a motion?
I will do my best.
Thank you, dear.
All right, so Liam Cregan here making a motion that the Shutesbury Conservation Commission not hold public hearings with broad abutter interest regarding complex applications.
But may,
But may hold public hearings.
However,
okay.
Okay. However, may hold public hearings for applications with localized abutter interest.
Linda, does that seem reasonable to you as our expert on all of this? No, you are our expert on all of this.
okay, so so with Liam said that the Shrewsbury Conservation Commission not hold public hearings with broad interest regarding complex applications. However, may hold public hearings with localized public interest.
Should we include in that statement the phrase during the state of emergency?
Yes.
Can we add that, please?
Okay. That's Liam, you're okay with that?
Yeah.
And the only other thing I would say that you may, however, may hold public hearings / public meetings, because if you do get a request for determination, that's a public meeting within a public meeting. So you may want to say, however, may hold public meetings / public hearings.
Public hearings, yes. I agree.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay. Okay. So so the motion is that the SCC not hold public hearings with broad public interest regarding complex applications, however, may hold public meetings / public hearings with localized public interest during the state of emergency.
Okay.
Okay, is that?
I second that motion. All in favor, please state your name and say aye.
Robin Harrington, aye.
Russ Missoula, aye.
Penny Jakes, aye.
Liam Cregan, aye.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Next topic.
Okay, next topic. Okay, so this is a continuation of new items and updates, which the next section is commission duties during the state of emergency. And so one of the things that I learned, or I heartily agreed with, and that was affirmed during the last MSMCP meeting, is that that if there's to try to be able to, if the commission can, to try to do some work during, you are working, but in terms of documentate documents, i.e. in this case, certificates of compliance, that if we can accomplish some of these things, that there won't be a huge agenda when you can start meeting in person, because you will have the ANRADs, which will be significant in and of themselves. So that's why I sent you some information about electronic signatures.
Mhm.
And that was one piece of the work that was done during these Zoom meetings, and with follow-up guidance from KP Law about how to proceed. And KP Law is a large law firm that does a large amount of municipal work. And they have land use folks who were present during these meetings and have helped with the guidance. And so there are two things. One, DEP in general allows electronic signatures. So that's fine. The challenge is that some of the documents that you would be signing, certificates of compliance being the one that is of interest to a party that we'll talk about subsequently, that is a document like an order of conditions that needs to be recorded at the Registry of Deeds. And in order for a document with electronic signatures to be recorded at the Registry of Deeds, there's a very particular process that needs to be followed. And so let me just before we go into the process, what would happen is if you agreed to use electronic signatures, there would be a vote to do so. And I sent you a motion, and when we get to it, we'll ask Liam to put that up. And that you would agree that your electronic signature would be equal to your wet signatures. So if you voted, say, to approve a certificate of compliance, then there would be the vote, and then I would put in the electronic signatures, and there's now all the documents that could have electronic signatures. There's a space been made in the document above the signatures in which language from the vote would be typed in, so it would validate the electronic signatures. This vote that you would take, then if you do decide, and then you take this vote, and then subsequently there's a document called a certificate of vote, which I sent to you also. And that document I just put in Shutesbury Conservation Commission using all, I just cut and I just pasted in your commission in the document that KP Law put together. And so that document would be signed by Penny in front, or with the town clerk, and then the town clerk would notarize and stamp the document, which would then get mailed to the Registry of Deeds and recorded. So before you can actually use electronic signatures on documents that have to be recorded at the Registry of Deeds, the actual certificate of vote has to be recorded first, because that's referenced on any of the documents. The book and page of that recorded certificate of vote is stated on the whatever Wetland Protection Act form you're signing that would subsequently have to be recorded. So please ask me questions if that didn't make sense.
So I do have a question. Is this something we can do for the long haul, or is this something we're voting on doing for the state of emergency, the time during which things are the way they are right now?
So DEP allows electronic signatures as evidenced by when you file an order of conditions by EDEP.
Mhm.
So that, that is in place already, and that doesn't change. This vote now to use electronic signatures for the Registry of Deeds, as far as I understand, that this is during the state of emergency.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Does anyone else have questions?
No, I think that yours was pretty important. But I don't have any others.
Would there be things other than certificate of compliances, Linda, that you can imagine?
Yes, so for example, if you, number 2 on the items under duties during state of emergency is that there's a pending notice of intent for a project at the lake.
Mhm.
So that would, if you did hear that case and issue an order, that would be another example.
Mhm.
If you could hold on, there's some people here. I want to see who they are.
Mhm.
Okay. Hi, this is Linda Ava Scott, the land use clerk. I see someone named Lexi. Could you introduce yourselves and say why you're present?
There you go.
Hi, my name is Lexi Dewey. I live in Pelham.
And Lexi, can you say why you're here?
Oh, I'm just interested in some of the information on your agenda.
And anything particular, please?
Yes, let's see, the ANRAD Baker West Pelham.
Penny?
Right. Do you want me to just do the quick spiel?
Yes, please.
Hi, Lexi. I'm Penny Jakes. Our goal tonight is just to continue these hearings. We don't intend to have discussion about them because we don't have complete information at this point and because the state of emergency is still in place. So at 8 o'clock, when the agenda item comes up, all we are going to do is continue this until our June 11th meeting at 8 p.m.
Oh, okay.
So do you have any sort of general questions about the process? We could.
I don't, I know, I was hoping to learn more tonight, but it sounds like this is going to be continued.
It is going to be continued for 2 reasons. One, we made a vote back in April not to try to resolve complex hearings like this over Zoom. And 2, our wetland consultant who is going out and verifying the wetland boundaries that were presented to the commission in the original application, our consultant is still working on that, and we don't have the final report yet. So for both of those reasons, we won't take any action tonight.
I see. Well, thank you very much for letting me know. So would it make sense then for me to come to the meeting on June 10th?
I would suggest that, but it might also be helpful to go to our website, because on our website you can actually see the applications.
Oh, okay.
And there's a fairly lengthy statement about the process that we're going through. And when we have the updated information from resulting from our wetland consultant and the original wetland consultant looking at the site, and all the revisions have been mapped and put in the revised application, that will also be posted. So you're welcome to look at the application that's posted now, but it might be more valuable to wait and see what the updated application looks like.
I will do that, and thank you very much. So I will sign off the meeting. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for your interest.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay, so
It's hard to keep your train of thought doing it this way, isn't it?
it is. So, okay, so you asked me what, in addition to certificate of compliance, might the electronic signature
Mhm.
certificate of vote be used for, which would be if you did hear a notice of intent for a single family home project at the lake,
Mhm.
and issued orders of condition that that would be another issue, another example of when
Gotcha.
it might be used.
Okay.
We just don't, we don't know how long we're going to be at this, and when we'll be able to actually meet in person, or where there'll be a venue where we can do so with social distancing, etc. So it seems like, even though it's a project to get this done, it seems like it would be helpful.
Mhm.
Yeah. So there it is.
Well, I think it's a reasonable thing to do, and I'm happy to read the motion that you presented to us, unless someone else would like to read that motion.
I don't have it in front of me right now.
Okay, well, I have it up. I'll read it. Penny Jakes moves that the Shutesbury Conservation hereby recognizes and accepts the provisions of MGL C110G regarding electronic signatures, and that its members will henceforth execute documents either with electronic signatures or with wet ink signatures, and that both will carry the same legal weight and effect. Do I have a second?
Liam Cregan
Second
seconds
that.
that motion.
All in favor, please state your name and say aye.
Robin Harrington, aye.
Russ Missoula, aye.
Liam Cregan, aye.
Penny Jakes, aye. So that was step one, right, Linda?
Yes. And so then there's the certificate of vote, which Liam, do you have that handy, and could you put it up?
I do.
Okay, thanks. I can
Just a
do it.
second.
Yep. This is just so you can see what Penny will be signing.
Yes, I printed out a copy too, so I have it in front of me.
Great.
I just put you, did you just, I don't know if I put your names in or did, oh no, you have, so anyway, I put your names in, so then I would put the vote in, the date and the vote, and then Penny will have, Penny, you don't have a printer, do you?
I know we have ink again for a printer, so I can print it.
Okay, so Penny would, after I fill it in, Penny would, or Penny can fill it in. Penny would bring it to the town hall. She'd make an appointment with Susie Mosier, the town clerk. Penny would go to the door, sign it while Susie watches, and then leave the document for Susie, who would take it and fill out the notary and the certification sections and affix her seal. Then it gets mailed to the registry of deeds and recorded, and then we enclose a self-addressed stamped envelope, so they'll mail it back, the document with the book and page on it.
Okay,
So there
what
we
a
go.
process.
It is. Thank you, everybody, for
Okay,
walking through this.
Yeah, no problem. Should I stop sharing now? We
Yes.
feel good?
Yeah, if everybody's good.
I stopped. I can start again.
Okay. All right, and where are we? Oh, we got 5 minutes. Okay. So can I tell you about 2 and 3 under this
Yes.
activity? Okay, so number 2, 32 Lake Drive, Mikolajchuk is the last name of the property owners. And last meeting, this was the case where you looked at the site plan for a proposed septic system and well. And there were some abutters who were interested in that. And I had yet to connect with the engineer. I did connect with the engineer, and then I was in touch with the property owners, and in conversation learned from the property owners that indeed a new well and septic system. However, they're also tearing down the existing cottage, putting in a full foundation, and then rebuilding. And so rebuilding the cottage. So that would necessitates a notice of intent application, which I've been working with them on. They're just about complete. They'll be submitting, they're using eDEP to submit to DEP. I checked with Mark, and that's the most efficient way for them to submit to DEP, and then they would submit electronically to the commission, and then also to the town clerk, who receives under this current legislation, the town clerk receives, and that's basically a date and time stamp receipt. So that I expect they will have that come through soon. And so that could come before you at the next meeting. It's possible.
You're talking about our May
Yes,
20,
yes.
whatever meeting,
Yeah, May 28th. Yeah.
28th. Thank you. Okay.
So we'll see. You know, I have to see where they're at with, I know they were requesting an abutter list from the assessor's office, and they have to notify them and, you know, do the newspaper and such. So anyway, that's in process. And if you think that you would want to take this case on, you can. You could do it on the 28th if time permits. I mean, if the timing works out.
So may we decide after we see the project, or do we have to decide prior to that?
No, I think that you have the right to look at, you have the right to look at the application. I will forward it to you, you know, when I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it's received, and you can look at it, and you can open the public hearing and then decide to continue.
Right. So my hesitancy comes from the fact that sometimes for these, and it really varies a great deal from project to project, sometimes we get fairly substantial documents that are large scale printouts of things that may be difficult to look at.
Yes.
Look at
In
on
this
our computer screens.
Yeah, in this case, the site, what has happened, what I asked for is, we saw the septic plan last meeting. I asked the applicants to have their engineer, Jeff LeBeau, do a blow up of just the parcel. So you've got a lot, you know, much easier plan to view, that you can easily enlarge yourself to see. So there are those 2 documents, as well as a USGS map of the lake and their narrative.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think
it will be viewable on our computer screens to the point where we can make sense of what's going on.
Yes, yes. Plus you'll have to make a site visit.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll wait, you know, we'll see wait till it comes in, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
Okay, everybody?
Yep.
Okay. We just have 1 minute, so.
So let's just pause until we hit 8 o'clock then. Hey, Griffin. So my dog is quietly chewing something at my feet. It's very unlike him. He's usually crawling on me.
Chewing on acorns.
So it is 8 o'clock. Let's move on to our next continuations. So at 8 o'clock, we are continuing the public hearing for the ANRAD at Z0-6, which is Baker Road, West
Q.
Pelham.
ZQ6.
Oh, that's a Q. Thank you. ZQ6. And based on what we did at the 7:30 batch, I'm going to recommend that we move this to 6/11 at 8 p.m.
Right, sorry.
Right.
Yes.
Liam Cregan will second that.
Okay. All in favor, please state your name and say aye.
Robin Harrington, aye.
Russ Missoula, aye.
Liam Cregan, aye.
Penny Jakes, aye. And then we will quickly move on to the 8 p.m. continuation of the public hearing for the ANRAD at ZG-2, which is the Pratt Corner Road East project. And as we did before, I move that we schedule that for 6:25 at our 8 p.m. meeting. Can someone second, please?
Liam Cregan will second that.
Thank you. All in favor, please state your name and say aye.
Robin Harrington, aye.
Russ Missoula, aye.
Liam Cregan, aye.
Penny Jakes, aye. Okay. So, Linda, do you want to go back to the other
Yes.
piece of work that we may be able to do?
Right. So the third, number 3, is 12 Merrill Drive, Hartwell. And so this is a property that has recently been sold, and there's a small holdback on the finalizing the sale, because there are 2 certificates of compliance associated with the property that are on the deed and have to be released from the deed. And so those would come before you on your next meeting agenda, provided we've got everything regarding the electronic signatures all recorded by, that's all done. So this, for those of you that don't know, a certificate of compliance, the commission makes a site when a request for certificate of compliance has been filed, and those have been filed. It's a specific form. The commission goes out and does a site visit and confirms that whatever the work that was done was all done according to the conditions. Then you issue the certificate of compliance, which gets recorded at the Registry of Deeds and officially releases the orders of condition from that deed. And so that's what this is about.
And so if any of you ever file a notice of intent for a project and you get an order of conditions which are attached to your deed, when you finish your project, file for the certificate of compliance right away, because both of these certificates, or both of these orders of conditions, were from like 10 and 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So these are projects that are not fresh in our minds. We don't have access to the notices of intent right now. They're locked away in Town Hall and in Old Town Hall, because one of them is from 20 years ago.
1996. There was a
1996.
fire in the cottage, so it was torn down and
Right.
rebuilt. And then in 2008, that was the Lake Wyola drawdown, and so that was the project for muck removal.
Right. So my concern, as I stated to Linda about this, is if we don't have access to the original application and all we have is the order of conditions with no site plan, it may be very challenging to do a site visit for this.
Mr. Hartwell has provided some documentation.
Mhm.
He has provided a invoice from the person that did the work for him during the drawdown, evidence that the material was removed from the site.
Mhm.
And then he also provided a detailed narrative of some of the work related to the cottage rebuild.
But he doesn't have a copy of the notice that was
I
filed.
don't believe he does. I will ask him. We do have, as I told Penny earlier today when we were going over the agenda, we do have both the orders of condition that are recorded at the Registry of Deeds. So you can look at those and the specific conditions that were put out.
Right, but I mean, it's hard to say looking back that far, but I know typically when we write orders of conditions,
Yeah.
we add conditions that go above and beyond what is shown on the notice of intent
Yeah.
plan as it's provided to us. So if we don't have the original plan, it's hard to just make a site visit based on what's in the order of conditions.
I know. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just for those of you who don't know, the town's filing system for projects that are this far back in history, they're in a box in the musty old town hall, and no one is going to go in there right now and pull them out. Right, Linda?
Right. Oh, no. And the commission has been out to the site before for other matters. Within the last couple of years, there was trees taken down there. So
Right. And
commission has been out
didn't he
there.
also build some sort of egress from the second floor? I vaguely remember that at some
No,
point.
no, that was another gentleman who lives on Lakeview, I believe. That was the egress. That was the one that had a small isolated wetland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a different person.
A different person.
That's
Okay.
a different person. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I'm willing to do a site visit. I'm willing to look at the order of conditions. I'm not willing to sign off on a certificate of compliance if we can't really figure out if things were built as specified based on not having the notice of intent in hand. And I know neither the homeowner nor the lawyer are going to like that.
Well, I will ask if they, yeah, I don't know if we can try to get the notice. I'm working remotely. I'm not at town hall, so access to the records is limited. Yeah.
I mean, typically, don't we ask for a copy of the notice when we go to do a site visit?
Well, typically I'm in town hall, and typically I have the information, and typically it's not 1996 that we're talking about.
I know.
Yeah. 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 So that's,
So it seems almost kind of pointless to do a site visit about the tear down.
I guess it's, it's really up to you. It seems that it's so after the fact.
Well, it is after the fact, but we're being asked to determine whether the project was done in compliant with the notice of intent and the order of conditions.
Right.
And we have to do due diligence on that, even though none of us were on the commission at the time that the project was done. I don't know. I would be willing to call Mark Stinson and ask him what he thought about that.
Okay, that will be
'Cause
great.
I just, it seems kind of baffling to me to just go out there and make a random decision.
So I will forward to all of you the orders, so you can look at those, and that will give you some framework. And I will also forward what Mr. Hartwell has said about the project. So it'll just give you a little more information.
Okay, and just to clarify, you don't have a site plan as part of the order of conditions.
No,
'Cause
no,
that is the key thing to
I
me, to
know,
have the site plan.
I know, I
Yeah.
know. honey.
Okay, well, I'm saying that I know you and I talked about this already, but just for everyone else, that's my hesitation, is that it's hard to decide if something was built to meet the order of conditions if we don't have a site plan to look at.
So that I will contact Mr. Hartwell and see if he does.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'll ask him. It's
Okay.
possible.
Okay.
Yep.
Don't mean to be grumpy about this, but I just feel like if you're
Yep.
signing off on a legal document, you should do the best job you can to make sure things were done as they were proposed and
Yeah,
agreed
so-
upon.
Yeah, so he might have one. So we'll find out.
Okay, thank you.
And you're welcome. And then, so the last item on the agenda is a site visit for a building permit application for a ground mount solar array at 483 Wendell Road. I did map the area, and there are no wetlands that show up on the map.
But we still need to do a site visit.
Yes, you do. Well, in order to sign off on the building permit application,
Right. So to do a site visit, we need at least 2 of us present. Perhaps we can try and come up with a date when 2 of us can go do this.
Let's see. I believe I'm free all next week and tomorrow.
it's going to rain tomorrow.
Yes,
Oh, you're right, right.
let's look to next week. My schedule is fairly open. I'd rather do it on a not rainy day. I'm going to look at the weather quickly.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, then this will be done. They do have to go before the zoning board because it's a ground mount solar array, so they need site plan review with the zoning.
Okay, the 10-day forecast is loading. Oh man. So it looks like Monday and Tuesday of next week may be rainy as of today, and that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday look to be mostly sunny and lovely. So do you want to try for Wednesday?
I'd be free Wednesday.
So I'm happy to do it with just Robin, especially since Liam is doing the CR visit at some point in the future. I mean, I just think limiting the number of people getting together is a wise thing to do. So Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Yeah,
Does that work, Robin?
yes, it does.
So Linda, can you look at that? Can you ask if that's an
Yes.
appropriate time? And
Yes,
can you make sure they have the site staked so
Yes.
it's easy to see?
yes. Yep, I will do that, and just confirm that that the homeowners, the family, people know, that you're just going to come and look, and then,
Okay.
yep.
Okay.
And I just was looking at my little notes to self here. So there've been a number, there've been some inquiries about various properties in town, which I've referred to the appropriate resources. Last meeting, we talked about a cutting plan, a DCR cutting plan, and that final SIG sign-off came through. But the Service Forester sign-off came through. And let's see, someone at the lake asked about the tree cutting at 57 Shore Drive, and I was able to tell them that that the homeowner had permission to cut the trees. And a woman named Megan Jacokes, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, and inquired about the work of the commission. And I invited her to come tonight, but it was short notice. So yeah, that's it.
I have a quick question for you based on my husband being on the planning board. I heard that there was a lengthy discussion about someone who may be putting forth a plan for an open space design. Is that correct? I'm just curious where it is in town.
Yes, so there was an inquiry about a potential open space design off of Leverett Road. It's I can kind of envision where it is, but I can't tell you exactly the houses that are on either side of it, but there's a small access road. So if you're going, where would you be coming from? So if you're coming from down Leverett Road from your direction, Penny, it's a small access road that's would be on the right-hand side, sort of just before you get to Pelham Hill Road, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah.
What are they looking to do?
It's a very, very tentative inquiry about having a long driveway with a possible 1, 2, or 3 house lots with some open space.
Okay.
So it's a project that would go before the planning board,
Yes.
but we would be involved at some point to weigh in on the wetlands on the property.
They would need a wetland delineation done. They have an old plan, but would need to update the wetland delineation. And then, of course, if there's any proposed work within jurisdiction, it would definitely be a planning board project.
Right.
Yeah.
And so for those of you who don't know, the town has an open space design bylaw that allows interior parcels of land to be developed if, and I don't remember the numbers exactly, but if the vast majority of the property is protected, it allows you to put in some homes. So it would be a plan that would go before the planning board to review, and the remainder of the property that's being protected would be put into a CR, which is similar to our neighborhood and to the place where Liam is going to visit, where Chuck Damari lives. He went through this process, and a couple other people in town have gone through this process, and it's just always interesting to me. And at some point, the commission would be involved if this moves forward. Okay, anything else, anybody?
I just have something I want to mention. Liam, when you decide when you're going to go to that 99 Sand Hill Road. If you wanted somebody else to accompany you, just shoot me an email. I'm just not comfortable going by myself and trusting like what I'm seeing, but if you want
Right.
someone else there, I'd be happy to join you. I don't live that far away.
Yeah, I think that would be good for me too. I wouldn't claim to be an expert in
So
any
just
of
let
this.
me know when you decide when you're going, because I'm pretty open. I've got some appointments the mornings of May 26 and 27, but other than that, I'm pretty open.
Okay. I think as it stands, the current date is the 19th. So I'll reach out. That's for the Sumner Mountain CR visit. So I'll just reach out to Chuck and Charlie either tomorrow or over the weekend. And then if we're on for Tuesday, then I'll just let you know.
Okay,
But I'll let you know either way
okay, thank
what's
you.
going on
I
with
just
it.
wanted to, I'm available, but I didn't want to do it by myself.
So Liam,
Is
would
that the
you,
one on 99? Is
Yes.
that the one on 99 Sand Hill? Is that
Yeah.
the one that we maybe should get Tim Hunting to look at it after we look at it, or isn't that the drainage problem coming off the road?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you interested in going to, Russ?
Yeah, I would be.
Okay. I'll just
you got-
let you both know what's kind of when I'm planning to go.
Okay, sounds good to me.
so Liam, when you do the site visit on this, on Chuck Tamari's CR, and this is an aside, take careful note of the vernal pool. I know Chuck is disinterested in certifying that vernal pool, but it would be great if it were really active and he got excited about it.
Yeah, I'll definitely look for some egg masses or other life forms.
Great. Okay, so anything else from anyone else? No? Okay, this is a very unsatisfying way to have meetings, but thanks to all of you and especially to Linda for figuring out what we need to be doing and making sure we do it in the best way possible. Yay, Linda.
You're welcome.
Yay, Linda.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm going to close our meeting at 8:22 p.m. Thank you all.
Oh, wait a minute, vote.
We have to vote to close the meeting?
We need to vote to move to adjourn. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God, I move that we close our meeting at 8:22 p.m.
I second Robin Harrington.
All in favor, state your name and say aye.
Ross Missoula, aye.
Robin Harrington, aye.
Liam Cregan, aye.
Penny Jakes, aye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Linda.
Thank you, everybody.
Stay safe,
Thanks.
everyone.
Good
Yeah.
night, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everybody.